Hello friends, and welcome back to the Cold War Prepper. This is Lee, and thank you so much for your patience and understanding while I've been off the internet for the last 7-8 days. Quite an experience, but thank God they're really, I looked terrible. The swelling and the bruising was really bad, but it wasn't that painful. I took some preventive, tramadol, and today when I went in, he said, "Do you need your tramadol renewed?" And I said, "No, I can do with ibuprofen 600 milligrams." So he wrote me a prescription for ibuprofen 600 milligram, and that's all I'm taking a week after. And he did some major work. So, gosh, he's a great guy. And we're going to be I'm going to be interviewing him later on this in the month of September. We'll be talking about dental considerations for post SHTF. So, make sure you stick around for that. But let's continue on with our cards, or my cards, and the things that I do for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I plan by meals so that when I go purchase things, I'm purchasing for that meal. So we're going to go a little bit outside of the U.S. and we're going to do, most of you don't realize it, but for my first 4 years in the Army, I was actually an Indonesian Malay translator. Saya berbahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Melayu. So I do speak Indonesian Malay, and so Malay is also spoken in Singapore, although the national language is English. But oh gosh, great food, just unbelievable. The tiger prawns, two tiger prawns filled up a 12-inch platter for dinner. So we'll talk about their breakfast, and so I want to talk about bakmi goreng and nasi goreng. So goreng is fried, means fried, and nasi is white rice, and bakmi is a noodle, basically. So if you want to look those up and get a recipe, then look up BAKMI GORENG. That's two different words. And in Indonesian Malay, the adjective always follows the noun that it modifies. Fried rice in Indonesian or Malay comes out to be rice fried, or noodle fried. And so bakmi goreng is the fried noodles, and then nasi goreng, NASI GORENG, is fried rice. And so you can do, of course, the bakmi goreng. You can use either some angel hair pasta, some really thin vermicelli or something like that. You can use, of course, any of your ramen noodles or things like that you might have in your cupboard. Of course, you can always use the Asian noodles, and that's what's really intended for it. But remember that all of those noodles, all the pasta that we eat now, originated in China. So that was taken back to Italy. There's questions as to whether it was Marco Polo or not. But all we can say is all of the noodles, wheat noodles and rice noodles, originated in China. And so look up those recipes. It's fantastic. Some of the things that I do to add to it, you can get crab meat, and so there's nothing better than throwing in a little bit of crab meat when you're having your breakfast of fried noodles or fried rice. Then there's fried shrimp. I should have gotten it out of the pantry, but I forgot. The one thing that makes Indonesian different from all the others is they use what they call ketchup manis, and that's KECAP, manis, MANIS. Manis means sweet, and ketchup is how they say soy sauce. Now, of course, halfway through my time as a translator for Indonesian, they changed over from the Dutch spelling system to the English spelling system. So to me, it's KETJAP, but nowadays it's KECAP, and then manis is MANIS. So that's the sweet soy sauce. You can make that yourself by taking some soy sauce, and you put about 7 parts soy sauce to 1 part molasses, and that ends up being ketchup manis, and you can use that. And so that ends up being a fantastic breakfast. Mix in some stir-fried eggs, some powdered scrambled eggs, in with your ketchup, in with your bakmi goreng or your nasi goreng, and what a fantastic breakfast. You can also put in, of course, the fried shrimp. Oh, God, I love the fried shrimp. I'm having a hard time finding it nowadays, though, but thank God I've got about a dozen cans of that in the pantry. Now, let's go on to lunch and dinner. So for dinner, I'm going to do, and this is specifically for one person in our family, we do have a lot of pasta, and we're going to be using a lot of pasta both for breakfast as far as the bakmi goreng, and then as far as pasta for lunch or dinner. And so one of them is going to be just this Alfredo sauce. So this is from Rainy Day Foods. I got a case of that, and so we're just going to have Alfredo, chicken Alfredo, and then of course you're going to need a can of chicken to go with that, and some pasta, mix that all together, and that becomes a fantastic lunch. I do have about 12 cans of pickled asparagus, and let me tell you something, that pickled asparagus goes extremely well with Alfredo, well, almost with any Italian type cuisine. So get yourself some pickled, they call them stick finger asparagus that's been pickled. It's in a small jar. I should have brought that out and showed it to you too. But anyhow, so that's going to be our lunch. And then for dinner that day, we're going to start off with Bear Creek soups. Now, this is one way you can do it. February 20 is when I bought this. So you can use the Bear Creek and start off with that. Although I like to enhance it, you can also use any of the canned soups, chicken noodle soups from Campbell's or any of the other great manufacturers. What I do, this is going to be my Wednesday meal, and the reason is because I have a 5-gallon pot, and I'm going to use this as the starter to feed a bunch of my neighbors. So once a week I plan on having, once or twice a week, I want to try to feed as many of my neighbors as I can if they're destitute and in need of food and clothing, as it says in the second chapter of James. And so anyhow, we can kind of augment that. We can add more egg noodles. We can add more diced carrots. We can add more diced celery. Where's the label? There it is. But there's the diced celery. We can also add a little bit more chicken with our canned chicken. And then we can also add to it either cream of chicken soup, okay, the condensed kind, and that's going to really thicken it up and give it a nice, great, big chickeny flavor, or you can use chicken bouillon, whichever you prefer, and kind of enhance that, add it, so you can use bouillon and use the water, and then you have a fantastic meal. So what we're having for breakfast is either going to be bakmi goreng, which is fried noodles, or nasi goreng, which is fried rice. We're going to have Alfredo, chicken Alfredo for lunch, and then for dinner we're going to have some sort of chicken noodle soup. So remember, we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. He was telling me today that we may have to do some adjusting of the T's because I may start whistling with my S's. And so I had to say Mississippi and 66 in order for him to do a little bit of adjusting on my palate. So if I have problems with my S's, it's going to be corrected here very shortly. Okay, remember, we're all in this together so we can come out the other side together. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and your endurance. And togetherness is a key. Take care. Bye-bye.